everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Liv. I'm a Colorado makeup artist and I love everything related to makeup and fashion, skincare, hair care, all the above when it comes to beauty. Today I'm really excited. We are going to be playing with the new Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. I'm really excited to give this a go. Honestly, I've got quite the story of how I actually came about getting this. Before we get started, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me, and we will get going. I already went ahead and did my base makeup. I will list everything that I used in the description below if you are interested. But I really wanted today's video to be focused on this palette and doing the eyes. So let me tell you the story of how I actually got this palette. Obviously, there was the Sephora holiday sale, right? Yes. I knew this was coming out on the 1st. I knew it was right in the middle of the sale that this palette was coming out. And I kept telling myself, no, you do not need the Pretty Grunge palette because you don't do grungy looks. Even for brides, you do not do grungy looks. So you don't need this palette. I told myself repeatedly, I don't need this palette. You are not getting this palette. Yes, it looks pretty. Yes, you really want to see what those shimmers look like. You can watch reviews and be okay without this palette. So that was my plan. And then I saw Babs Beauty do a whole tutorial on it. And then I saw Angelica and Samantha March did like a Q&A and they used this palette. And I was like, I think I need that palette. So I'm not kidding you. The sale ended on the 6th. I literally went and bought it on the 8th. And I'm kind of kicking myself because I could have saved 20% on this palette. This palette that I continually told myself I don't need and was literally influenced so hard to get it that I bought it 2 days after the sale. And now I'm finally getting to it. I'm kind of kicking myself, but on the other hand, like, I'm really happy to have it too. Because this Maverick shade, this Maverick shimmer shade, is stunning. Stunning. It's like the perfect champagne-y silver for me. Anyways, I will put up some stills on what this palette looked like before I touched it, and I will also put up some stills of swatching. I swatched only the shimmers just because I wasn't into all of the mattes, and there is one cream shade. It's called Grunge. It's black. But I swatched the shimmer shades in the order of Avant-Garde, Stand Up, Strong AF, Haphazard, Maverick, and then I want to say Rebel, but I know that's not how you spell Rebel, so it might be Rebel. I'm not quite sure. They're really pretty. The Haphazard and the Rebel shade are duochromes, but they seriously look so wet and they're just so sparkly. And honestly, the more I look at it, like this side, these two columns, they do lean pretty warm tone. Neutral, warmish-ish, I'm going to say, because those are the tones I typically lean towards. So I'm actually going to start with this shade. It's called Rise Up. And I'm going to start placing that in my crease, actually a little above my crease because I have hooded eyes, so I want to make it so you can still see the color. But I legitimately kept telling myself, you don't do grungy looks. You don't really use a lot of cool tone looks. And you just bought the I Need a Nude palette, which is very, very cool tone. I also have the Glam palette, which is also cool tone. I was like, you don't need that. And I don't know how I got influenced so hard that 2 days after the sale was over, I caved. I thought I was holding out pretty good. Thought I was holding strong. I didn't. This is a really pretty transition shade though. It just gives a touch of shadow. Now that I think about it though, since I am collecting cool tone palettes, because that's what happens to be like popular right now, I'm just gonna have to switch my preferences from warm tones to cool tones. So this color is not super dark, nor is it super intense, but like it gives a good definition, just a touch of something, which I like. So I do want to deepen it up a little bit. I'm going to go into the darkest brown, which is called Hope. I mean, it looks brown. Sometimes browns or grays can look brown in the palette. Yeah, see, it's gray. My bad. which is fine. I knew I was kind of doing a smoky eye, so this is fine. But I'm just placing it on the outer corner, adding a little bit of depth out here. And I'm blending. So I've only dipped into it once. So I mean, it doesn't have to be super dark. That's blended. It's not super intense. But obviously, if you want it, you just pick up a little bit more and add a little bit more depth. I think the important part of these cooler tone eyeshadow palettes is to really take your time building the colors up, because black intimidates me so hard. So gray is not all that different from black to me. My thing is like, I've got to do really light layers so it's not all of a sudden like stark black or super gray to a point where I'm uncomfortable with it. And I think that's the important part with these cooler tone palettes being so popular, is that you really have to just build it slowly so all of a sudden it's not too crazy for you. Next, I want to go into this matte shade. It is called Freedom, and it does have a little bit more of a purpley tone to it. I want to take it in the crease towards the inner portion just to add some of that purple and kind of blend the gray a little bit more. Then I'm going to go back into the first brush we used with the shade Rise Up, and I'm just going to blend it all together. I'm going to go back into Hope, which is the dark gray shade, and I'm going to place it on the lower lash line just towards the outer corner and connect it to the top lid. And I only took that like maybe a third of the way in, but I am going to wipe that little brush off just on a regular washcloth and go into the Freedom shade, the purpley color, and put that on the lower lash line as well from the inner corner to connect to that Hope shade. Which shimmer shade should we use? My heart really pulls towards this Maverick shade, but this Rebel, I'm not exactly sure. It has like a green pink twist to it, green purple twist. So with adding a little bit of purple, I'm kind of thinking we should do that one, but really I just want to use Maverick. So we're going in with Maverick because I really can't resist. And I like to pick shimmer shades up with my finger. I think that it gives the best payout that way. And just place it on the lid. I think that is such a pretty color. It's mostly silver, but it's got flecks of like a champagne-y color to it, which just screams to my heart. I love it so much, and it looks wet. I'm just gonna pick up one of my brushes that I was using. I think this one had the purple on it, and just kind of blend the edge. That way it's not such a harsh shimmer line. There is a little bit of fallout, so if you don't like the fallout or feel uncomfortable just sweeping it off, maybe do your eyes first with this palette. Just for fun, let's go into the Rebel shade anyways. This one is a little bit chunkier, like it physically stands like kind of above the palette a little bit more. So I'm just going to pick a little bit of that up and place it in the center. And maybe we can get a little bit of purple in the shimmer. I can definitely see it in my mirror, so hopefully it comes across. I don't know if you can tell, but doubling it up really gives it that metallic-y wet look. And honestly, I'm not picking up very much, but it is a little bit chunkier. Next, I'm going to go into the matte black. This shade is called Renegade. This is a cream black, and based off the formula from the Empowered palette, the cream is not my favorite. So I'm just going to go into the powder just on a small angled brush, and I just want to add a little dimension towards the outer corner, like maybe a touch of a wing, and also like kind of put it some on the lower lash line. I'm not trying to be like super precise with it because wings are hard for me with hooded eyes, but just adding a little bit of dimension. It's very pigmented too. So again, if black is not your favorite, just don't pick up a whole lot at one time, just light layers. And then for an inner corner highlight, I'm just going to use the highlight I used on my face. This is from Makeup by Mario in the shade Pearl, because I didn't think there was a lighter shade in the palette to highlight the inner corner. I think the Maverick shade is the lightest shimmer. Obviously, we did not use quite a bit of the shade, so if you're interested in another cool tone look with this palette, please let me know. But for now, I'm going to get the rest of my face on, so mascara, brows, and a lip, and then we'll chat a little bit more. Okay, so I tried to add a little more grunge. So I found a purplish lip color that I had from Fenty. I didn't even know I had this color. It's in the shade Mauve Wives, and I think it really brings in the purpley tone from the eyeshadow, so trying to go a little more grunge with the lips to bring the eyes together. And then I did end up tightlining my lids as well, just with a black eyeliner. So in case it looks a little more dark, that is what I did. I did add something. But overall, I think this look is really pretty. I don't think it's like super grunge, but I do understand that it could lean that way, especially with the lips. But if you put it with like a nude, like a cool tone nude lip, it probably wouldn't be leaning that way as much. So obviously today was really focused on this Pretty Grunge palette by Huda Beauty. I really like how it turned out. I really like these colors. The shimmers in particular are really unique to me. The next one I'm really interested is this one, which is called Stand Up. That one actually looks a bit more warmer than the rest of them, so I'm really interested in it. Huda does have a really good eyeshadow formula. Her mattes always perform. The shimmers are always stunning. The only thing that I'm not particularly a fan of are these cream shades. Again, I tried the Empowered palette when it first released, and there are 2 cream shades in that palette. One is a black and one is like this dark purpley color. This one is not a cream, just the black one is in this palette, but they weren't my favorite to use. I'm not a huge cream person in general when it comes to eyeshadows. I really enjoy using a good tacky eyeshadow primer and then using powders. That's the way I really like to do it. So the cream in the palette is not my favorite. Obviously I didn't use it today. I went for the black powder instead. But I like Huda Beauty. I think her eyeshadow palettes are always really pretty, especially these larger ones. I haven't tried one of her 9-pan palettes, but the larger ones I do like. I'm just really bummed that it took me 2 days after the Sephora sale ended to actually pull the plug on purchasing the palette. I wish I would have made my mind up sooner. Anyways, you'll have to let me know if you picked up this palette, whether it was while it was on sale or if you got it after the sale like I did. I would love to hear how you're enjoying it and what parts are your favorite. What shades are your favorite? If you're interested in more cool tone looks, please let me know. I have a handful of them that I don't reach for as often as I should, so I would love to know if you're interested in them so I can get more use out of them. That is all from me today. I hope you have a great day with whatever you are doing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit all on your notifications. You'll be notified every time I post a video. Please hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.